Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. We are built by Sparkies for Sparkies. Our vision is clear: make money, build wealth, be kind. Our mission is deliberate. We help electrical, solar, and aircon business owners generate revenue, drive profits, and control their time. If you would like to hear more about our program, please reach out. I'll chuck the link in the show notes and enjoy the podcast. We always hope it's beneficial for your business. We hope it cuts through noise and helps you understand what's important and what's non-negotiable. Thanks so much for all your support so far. We appreciate you. We love you. Enjoy the podcast. Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. We are built by Sparkies for Sparkies. Our vision is clear: make money, build wealth, be kind. Our mission is deliberate. We help electrical, solar, and aircon business owners generate revenue, drive profits, and control their time. If you would like to hear more about our program, please reach out. I'll chuck the link in the show notes and enjoy the podcast. We always hope it's beneficial for your business. We hope it cuts through noise and helps you understand what's important and what's non-negotiable. Thanks so much for all your support so far. We appreciate you. We love you. Enjoy the podcast. Sparky Coach Pod, Crowe here. 3 business lessons in 3 years. So Crowe Electrical for me ran from 2007 to 2020, 13 years of downright glory and of being the absolute roughing God. The roughing God, self-appointed, self-anointed. Doesn't matter who appoints you, as long as you do yourself. And then I had a bit of a break, went for work for a company who shan't be named in the coaching industry after I sold my electrical business. And I'd say that was so incredibly formative for my confidence and for my self-esteem, and for me to look around and be like, oh, my business would not have thrived under this coaching. This coaching sucks. and it took a series of fortunate or unfortunate events, whatever way you want to look at it. It took a series of events, one of them being the guy tried to halve my pay towards the end, and I was like, well, I'm going to do my own thing. And I actually, when that moment happened, that's a story for another day, but my gosh, that is probably a 45-minute topic. But I remember just bawling my eyes out, and I called Elodie, and we've been together longer than we've been apart, so she had some things to say, which was great. Like, sometimes it's not what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. And I went surfing, and I was like, I'm going to do this myself. And it turns out that unfortunate event was the best thing that ever happened to me. It propelled me to starting my own East Consulting, which was a bit of a sort of one-on-one coaching just by myself. And then Cam and I partnered to join Sparky Coach just over 3 years ago now. So can you believe that? In some ways, it feels like we've been operating forever. And in other ways, it feels like we're just getting started. And I just want to say, I actually probably didn't picture our program being this good ever. The implementation of, we just built Dave, which is, you have to see this thing to believe it, but what it's doing in people's businesses over the 1 month it's been around, it is changing perspectives, it's changing purpose, or it's refocusing, it's directing, it's showing everything, it's showing you numbers. It's a one-stop shop for the short game and the long game. And you do need to have both. You really, really do need to have both in that sense. And it's just been such a privilege to push hard, to know we're getting results for members. Some of our members are doing incredible things, and it's not just about money, although it is. It's also about being someone that you're proud of and becoming someone you're proud of and building a family that you're proud of and spending good time with good people, doing things you love, and just repeating the cycle. So 3 lessons in 3 years. What are they? Here it is. Driving past the Byron sign the other day, I feel like my life runs in a bit cyclical. Like I was like, what am I going to say for these 3 points? And we're going to get a few business owners in to share their points and their thoughts. I'd love to hear people say 6 lessons in 6 years, or 7 in 7, or 10 in 10, or 20 in 20. It's such a good perspective to double down on, or what actually matters and what would you do differently. But not only what would you do differently, what would you keep doing the same? Because when you're onto a heater, it's so easy to get distracted, but you got to stay on that heater, right? Crazy. All right, so 3 things. I was driving past a Byron sign the other day, and it says, slow down, cheer up, chill out. So that's my point. Slow down, cheer up, chill out. Slow down, cheer up, chill out. The other morning I was going to Pilates, and it was dark. Do you know I do Pilates? Of course you do. So I grabbed an apple from the fruit bowl, an apple from the farmer's markets, 2 for 1 special. Shout out to Eastbound and Down. Grabbed an apple, and I was just walking down the side of the house, dark, and I bit into this apple, delicious. The apple, beautiful on the outside, and I bit into it, yum, delicious apple. Another bite, and I was like, oh, it had me fully dry reaching. Have you ever bit into an apple and been like, oh no, something's not right? And then I get the phone out, look at the apple, giant black hole full of absolute filth, and I look at it, I'm like, and I can still taste it. You know those things you can still feel and still taste? I'm like, the apple. It's like 4:45 in the morning, and I'm like, this is non-ideal. This is a non-ideal start. And so often business is like the apple. We start it and we're like, shiny apple, fantastic. Oh, first bite, delicious. And as you get moving into business and as you feel some disheartening moments or some down moments or even some up moments, and you can be like, how do I get this? Like, it didn't look like this from the outside. I thought everything would be so good and so clean and so rosy, and I bite this thing and I work in this thing and it owes me this money and it doesn't give me the time and the word I want. And it's And sometimes what can start out so pure and so beautiful, the apple, ends up in somewhere that you never intended to be. And if you're not careful, your life and your business, it can really put you in dangerous positions. I was sitting with someone the other day and they were like, I just feel like business is my best shot at making money. And I'm like, I agree. This is 100% your best shot at making money. This is also your best shot at losing money. This is also your best shot at losing your family. This is also your best shot at losing your health, losing your fitness, losing the things that you care about. It's your best shot, 100%. But let's keep the faith, Bon Jovi style, but let's recognize the fear as well. 2 things that can be true at the same time. The first thing that can be true is, yes, you can make a lot of money in business. The second thing that can be true is, yes, you can lose a lot of money in business. You can lose a lot of time doing the wrong thing. You can lose so much family. You really can. So, all right, crazy. So we want the apple to look good. We want it to taste good, and we want it to keep tasting good. The apple is a metaphor for your business. All right, get in with me. Slow down. First point number 1. 3 lessons in business. Point number 1, slow down. Slow down. There's 2 things you want to slow down for. You want to slow down for purpose, and you want to slow down for focus. That's what you need to do. So I was just saying before, 2 things that can be true at the same time, right? One thing that can be true is I feel called to run a business. And you know that if that's you no doubt you might have had a job for someone else. You might have had an opportunity somewhere else. You might have been on a great wicket and something in you just wouldn't go away. Something in you is like, I feel called to run a business. I feel like I'm meant to do this. There's something in me that I wake up tomorrow morning, I wake up the next morning, it just won't go away. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. If that's you and you're an employee and it doesn't go away in a month or a year, you just got to back yourself. There's no perfect time to start a business. If it's on your heart, it's usually on your heart for a reason. And sometimes the best place to start is now. So, all right. So it can be true, I feel called to run a business. It can also be true, I feel confused about what to do next. I feel called to run this thing. True. This thing is ruining my life. True. I feel called to run this thing. True. I don't know what to do next. True. I feel called to run this thing. True. It's doing really well. True. But I'm lacking something. And I was sitting with someone, this is crazy, right? 4 staff members, no admin, making $1 million net profit a year, business net profit. And I'm like, first and foremost, this is awesome. like you've done this with no sort of external advice, and you sort of came to us being like, I'm making money, I'm in my dream house. I don't know. I got everything I wanted, and I've got nothing I signed up for. And it was so interesting because I was like, okay, first and foremost, let's take you $1 million. And let's say you're working 80 hours a week. So let's give 150 grand to someone else. Now you're on 850. Let's give 150 to an operations manager. Now you're on 700. Let's give 100 to a admin. Cool. Or roundabout figures, right? Now you're on 600, but now you got a life. And he was like, that sounds awesome. So it's not about money. It has to be about something deeper. And he was making money and he's not happy. So revenue doesn't guarantee profit. And profit certainly doesn't bring happiness. If you've got a great house, it matters who's in the house. That's who it matters. It matters your kids and your wife and your partner, all this kind of stuff. That's who you want to building your life around, building your 15-year plan around, building it around friends and someone that you are called to. You're feeling like you're on track to do what you were called to do with your life, right? So slow down and find purpose. You have to slow down and find purpose, right? There are 2 great days in someone's business: when they see the apple, when they bite the apple. So when you start a business, great day, full of excitement, pride, and like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. The other great time of business is when you find out why. When you start, it's a great day in business. When you find out why you're doing it. When you find out, if I asked you, why are you doing this? What would you say? If I asked you, what's your company mission? What would you say? If I asked you, what's your company vision? What would you say? If I asked you what your purpose is, what would you say? If I asked you who you wanted to be in 15 years' time, what net worth you wanted to be, if I asked you all this stuff, what would you say? And if you can answer that with integrity and honesty and cleanly and concisely, that's the first thing you need to do. And in step 1 of our 7-step pathway is find the why. What are you doing this for? Find purpose. Find purpose. And some people are like, I don't know what I want to be in 15 years. Okay, well, we can work out what you don't want to be in 15 years. Let's go on the negative side. You don't want to be 4 marriages in. You don't want to be 10 kids into 10 different partners. You don't want to have adult kids that don't talk to you. You don't want to be unfit, unhealthy, and you don't want to be egotistical. You don't want to run a business that's losing money. You don't want to have no asset base. You don't want to have your retirement not sorted out. You don't want to have no friends. So if you just worked out, well, what's worst case scenario? Just go the opposite of that. What's best case scenario? I want to be someone I'm proud of, a valuable member of the community, a business that is an asset. I myself am an asset now. You want to be building your asset-based commercial property, personal property, your superannuation, all this kind of stuff, right? You want to be building wealth. You want to have a business that can be scaled back, sold, or you can stay at. You want to have choice in that. You want to be someone that you're proud of, that your kids are proud of. You want to have adult kids that talk to you. Chances are your trajectory is somewhat along that. If you can find your purpose, first and foremost, you can find the passion. Passion runs on empty sometimes. So I feel like I don't have any drive. Cool. Well, if we work out what you want in 15 years, that's going to help a lot. When I see people not closing the week, I'm like, you don't know why you're doing this. I promise you, if you knew why you were doing this, you would close the week. If you knew the long-term game in 15 years, you would close the week and close a month. No doubt about it. If you're not closing the week, you don't understand why you're doing this. And that's okay, but you might want to find out why. It's not worth it. You ever felt trapped on the hamster wheel? Like, I'm just doing the same thing I don't really know, and now I'm making money, but I'm not happy, or I'm really happy, I'm not making any money. I don't even know why I'm doing this thing. It's so stressful. When you work out why you're doing this, when you work out why you get up in the morning, when you work out why you go to work, when you work out what your role is, when you work out what your responsibilities are, when you work out what you want to achieve with your life, when you work out what kind of parent and dad and husband and all this kind of stuff and you want to be, that's the day. That's the day where it's like, bam, line in the sand. Now, all this other stuff, close a week, close a month, getting on the critical pathway of ticking off those next items of business, all those things are just a vehicle to get you to your destination. But if you don't know your destination, you're going to be driving around in circles doing donuts. Might be fun, might not be fun. You're like, you might enjoy it, you might not. But you're going to be on the hamster wheel. But you want to be on the hamster wheel, you want to be on the wheel. Yeah, you're going to be doing the same things. If you don't like doing the same thing twice, you're not going to like life. You got to eat today, you got to eat tomorrow. Right? You've got to wake up today, you've got to wake up tomorrow. You've got to exercise today, exercise tomorrow. You've got to surf today, surf tomorrow. You've got to spend time with the kids today, spend time with the kids tomorrow. Spend time with friends today, spend time with friends tomorrow. Work today, work tomorrow. There's going to be certain cycles of life you've got to do that find your rhythm. But if they're going to land you in a spot you're proud of, that's what you want. So find a purpose. Find the purpose. Now, if I told you this point at the start, you would have thought I was crazy. You'd be like, don't you know I'm loco? This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. Go with me here. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m., 6 a.m., had an epiphany at 6 p.m. I'm talking to Sparkies here. You know, have you ever woken up and been like, I can see the cable pathway, or something that you needed an answer for just, bam, dropped to you? Have you ever been driving? When I was driving, this crazy story. I was driving home from Byron, and the 7-step pathway came to me like a gift from the trade gods. And something I've been thinking about for years and years and years. What is the pathway for someone to when they start a business to the end? What is the pathway? And I'm worked out so many different ways, and they were so wrong. And I was trying things and it didn't work. I was trying that. Oh, that worked for a bit and that sucks. And I'm like, ah. And I remember being so mad when we were building Dave and my friend, the programmer who was hacking the mainframe and building it for us. I was watching him and I'm like, I don't know if we have any reason for this. I don't know if we don't have a pathway. We're close. There's no end game. And I'm like, gah, for the love of the trade gods. This is crazy. So I was driving home and I've been listening to everything from Dave Ramsey, hyper-conservative, to Think and Grow Rich, which is hyper the secret. So I'm just like, my head is just exploding in this world of conservativeness and this world of optimism. And I'm just like, what do we do? And I was driving home and I felt like, bam, this thing just dropped in my conscious. And I was pulled a car over, wrote out a 7-step pathway. It wasn't perfect, but far I was close enough. And have you ever done that with a set of plans? You just, bam, you woke up at 3 a.m. and you're like, I get it. Yeah, I can see that cable pathway. Bam, you wake up, I can see how we're going to get that board in. Bam, yeah, I can see how we're going to attack that. Bam, I can see what I've been doing wrong this whole time. You have this epiphany. Now, go with me here. When you find your purpose, when you set your purpose to that 15-year plan, you're going to be like, hey, here, you might not be perfect, but it's going to be like, okay, that's pretty much where I want to get to in 15 years. You know, I want to have a business that works for me. I want to be a great partner. I want to be a great dad. I want to be still surfing. I want to be fit. I want to be sexy with a 6-pack or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want a 10-pack. I don't know, 10-pack of nuggets. Am I right? But mate, whatever. All right, whatever. But when you let your mind go there for 15 years, your subconscious is going to find a way. You're going to find a way to make it happen. You can look at plans and then all of a sudden, bam, you get the epiphany. You look at the plans, like, oh, I can see that now. You look at your 15-year trajectory and it's like, you're going to find a way to get there, but you need to know where you're getting there. Otherwise you'll end up on that hamster wheel. And you want to get off the hamster wheel and you want to get onto the Dave wheel. So find purpose. There's 2 great days in your business. One is when you start it, and the other is when you find out why you started it. When you find out what you're doing it for. When you find out what you're getting out of bed for, right? So you want purpose and you want focus. Passion dies off. I'm not talking about your love life, although I might be, but keep that fire running, by the way. But find focus. You want to find purpose, you need passion. Passion dies off. If you're just like, feeling really motivated today, working 10 hours, 12 hours, that's got a window of time. You cannot keep up 12 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week, and be someone who you're proud of. Like for 10 years, 15 years. It's just going to be really, really, really hard to build a family around that, build hobbies around that, build solid relationships around it. It's going to be really hard. So passion is good, and you need it for a season. I'm not saying don't work hard. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm saying if you can work less and earn more, that's probably the goal, right? But find focus. Sometimes you can have purpose, but you feel lost. It's like most of you can, I'd say this, if you take one thing out of this podcast, one thing only, go with me here. Most of you can do your job in less time and at a higher quality. Now I'll say that again. Most of you, read all of you, can do your job in less time and at a higher quality. So you can put less hours in and they can be better if you are what? If you are focused. If you are focused. Let me ask you a question. If you had one day, if I just said, hey, like, if you had one day, if I gave you one day of the week to work, what would you do? If you're on site, you're like, I can't do that. I've got to rough in this house. No, you'd probably work for 6.5, 7 hours, like an 8-hour day. And then you do some paperwork, some quoting, some invoicing, send, and you're out. So if you were in the office, it's like you'd probably do check and send invoices, check and send quotes, and then, or if quoting was too much, you'd be like, oh, maybe I should train someone else to do that. If invoicing was too much, maybe you're like, you know what, I'm gonna train someone else to do that. If answering the phone was too much, you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna train someone else to do that. So if you had one day to nail it, I reckon most of you could, if you're office based, I reckon most of you could do a 2-day week, a really effective 2 days, and you could do whatever you wanted after that. If you had a really effective day or 2 days, you're probably killing it. So you go like, okay, cool. If you had one day to work, what task would you do? What would you need to automate? What task would you hand over? What tasks wouldn't you do? Too many of you are in the wrong spot. You look at your gift. What are you good at? Do that. What are you inherently good at? Do that, or be on a pathway to doing that. If you're really good at building relationships, you might want to get a team around you so you can keep building those relationships, but the relationships will only carry you so far until one of your team sucks and your team makes a mistake that compromises the relationship, and no amount of people skills will get you through that. So it's like, find your purpose, slow down and find purpose. Take a day off, take a week off, come to our every 4-week Dave session where we're like, we're going to sit here on our 7-step pathway and be like, how are we going? Where are we going to get to? What are we doing today? Slow down and find purpose. Slow down and find focus. If you're not working to a calendar, if you're feeling disorganized, if you're feeling disorientated, if you're feeling distracted, if you're feeling like, I don't know what I do, write some roles and descriptions down. Write out what you're good at and then do that. Do that. And then everything else can get stuffed. Someone else can do it. Classic Simpsons. Can't someone else do it? Of course they can. Of course they can. All right. I will say, most of us are comfortable handing the site work over. Like, if I asked you how good you are on the tools, you'd be like, I'm a godsend weapon, sent from the trade gods, sent back in time to a building site near you. Rah! Most of you would be like, I'm a full weapon, trust me. I'm going to tell everyone I know. That's awesome, and you should be really proud of that. No one cares. Chances are, I mean, people do care, of course they care, but you go with me here. Chances are you hire tradies and apprentices to train them. So you're really good on site and you'll train people to replace you, and that's great. And then when it comes to the office work where we're uneducated, unorganized, and unproductive, we're like, oh, I better hold on to this one. I better hold on just doing this. No one can do this like me. It's crazy, crazy. Hand that stuff over. Hand the stuff you're not good at to someone else first. Hand that over first. All right. Slow down, cheer up. Here we go. Slow down first and foremost. Find purpose, find focus. Find purpose, find focus. Second one, cheer up. Who is responsible to fill your happiness cup? Who is responsible? Someone else? Because then you're going to be dictated by someone else's emotion. Is it what the news says? Is it the looming recession or the looming boom? Is it the property prices? Who is responsible for your happiness? Is it someone coming in and being like, oh, hey, when you do that, is it someone else's opinion? Is it someone else's thoughts? Is it someone else's, maybe what you think someone else thinks of you? Is it your ego responsible for your happiness? Is your fear of success responsible for your happiness? Is your fear of failure responsible for your happiness? Who is responsible for your happiness? It's you. You are responsible to fill your cup. Marriage works best when two happy people come together. Can you make someone else happy? Maybe for a season, but maybe not forever. If you are on the dating scene and you feel the need to rescue someone, you might want to check that before you get married. That's probably going to end in disaster. Let's face that. You're probably trying to reconcile some inner child that feels the need to cheer someone up or whatever, or rescue someone to fulfill your own happiness cup. And that's not how it should be. So business will take you on a journey, and then you'll look at it and you'll realize, you know what, I underestimated who this was making me to. I was building the business to be awesome, but I was also fighting demons, slaying battles I didn't even know I had, fighting my stuff. That's business, right? It's going to show you a lot about you, right? Okay, go with me here. Who is responsible for your happiness cup? You are. So write out the things that make you happy. I'd love to go surfing. I'd love to exercise. I'd love to talk to my friends once a week. I'd love to hang out with my friends. I'd love to do something that I love with people I love. What makes you happy? Write it down. Write out your business role and responsibilities too. Maybe your role doesn't make you happy at the moment, and maybe it might need to change. You might be like, you know what, my business sucks. It's making money, it's a pit of despair. Or it's not making money and it's a pit of despair. So what would it take for you to be happy going to work? What would it take for you to be happy in yourself? What would it take for you to be happy in your marriage? What would it take for you to be happy as a parent? What would it take for you to be happy in business? What would it take for you to be happy? And there's probably things you need to cut out, and there's probably things you need to start doing. And I know you know this. And it's like sometimes you can be too busy to fill your happiness cup when your happiness cup needs to be filled so you can perform your job properly at home and at work. Right after this podcast, go and write out the things that make you happy. Put it on the fridge. Write out everyone in the family's name. What do they need every single week to be happy? Cool, let's do it. Let's do it. You are going to operate at such a different level when you're happy. And you might be like, oh, I want to exercise, but I can't. I want to be a present dad, but I don't know how to not yell. I want to spend time with the kids, but I'm too busy working for them. I've got this business to run so I can do it for them. Cool. Okay, let's write down. Let's work out where we want to get to in 15 years, and are we sowing seeds? Are we sowing apple seeds expecting an orange tree, or an apple seed expecting an apple tree? What seeds are you sowing for your happiness? The better you are, the better the business is. The better you are, the better your household is. The better you get, the better everything gets around you. Doesn't mean you're going to have to let go of stuff, 100%, but you're going to have to grab onto new stuff. And you're going to have to grab onto stuff that I remembered when I picked up the bodyboard and charged the island. Remember that time? What a time to be alive. Crazy. Cheer up. If work isn't making you happy, what would it take to change? I shared earlier in the podcast of someone who was making a lot of money, but they're not happy. And I don't know many or any people that would trade money for happiness. If I asked you in 15 years' time, you'd probably be like, I just want to be really happy. I want to be myself. I want to be doing the things I love with the people we love, and I want to be the best version of myself, run the best business I can. Chances are and money obviously comes with that, but there's no point. You can make all the money in the world and you can lose your soul at the same time. And you need 3 metrics we go off here at Sparky Coach. You want revenue, which is people giving you money and people working for you. You want net profit, which is percentage of the money you keep. And you want a purpose. You want a reason why you're doing. You need those 3 metrics. To have purpose with no revenue and net profit is ridiculous. To have revenue and no profit or purpose. To have revenue with no profit and just purpose, you get the gist. You need all 3. You need money coming in, money staying in, and yourself to be on a trajectory for happiness. You deserve that. That's what you deserve. You deserve that. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way and you're going to go home and kick the door down and be like, I deserve happiness. I'm the happiness monster. No. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You deserve peace. You deserve happiness. That's what you deserve. All right, slow down, cheer up. The third one is you need to chill out. You've got to slow down, find purpose, find focus. You've got cheer up. You are responsible for filling your happiness cup. And you've got to chill out. Good things take time. You want to build something of substance, it's going to take 10 to 15 years. You want to build something that's awesome, you are going to need some seed time and harvest. You're not going to wake up and just get off the tools. You're not just going to create this monster without some element of sacrifice, some element of time, some element of purpose, some element of like, yeah, you know what? I started here and now I'm here. I started from the bottom and now I'm here. Sitting with some people this week and closing out their months was such a privilege. Closing out members making millions of dollars net profit, right? Don't listen to anyone who just talks about revenue. I would also say don't listen to anyone who just talks about profit either. You need to talk about revenue, profit, and purpose. Sitting with people and they're like, you know what? The business is the vehicle that's getting me other assets, the asset that I'm building, but I'm also building myself, but I'm also collecting assets along the way. And I'm also getting time with my family. And it's so cool to be closing out some months that are so solid with people. And it just reflecting on it just took time. It just took time. It takes 5 to 7 years to establish something of substance and purpose. And something of profit at that point. And yes, you can do it soon. I'm not saying that, but like there's a real sweet spot. Operating over 5 years, you've got a great reputation and you've got probably some long-term staff and you've got some long-term clients and you've got some systems and processes you never used to have and your business is on a trajectory of goodness. That's what you want. And I will say, you can't build your service business like a product. So product for Sparky Coach, we can go national, we can be Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. We can be international. You can go within an hour of your house or an hour of your place of work, your business, commercial property, an hour. So the people within that hour really matter. Your staff, your clients, your future clients, they really matter. You got to keep a solid reputation. You can't just burn bridges using greasy sales tactics to sell something to someone that doesn't need it. That sucks. You didn't sign up for that. That's not what you want to do. Stuff that. I remember sitting at the old company, who shan't be named, and the old coaching company, and they were like, "Oh, when you get to a board upgrade, when you get to the board, open it and just take a breath to be like, yeah, this is bad." And you had all this sales tactics. I'm like, just tell someone what they need to do. Your best clients don't fall for sales tactics. You don't want to be given sales. You know what sales? Yes, you want to be presenting yourself well. You want a good website and good reviews. I'm not saying that, but you don't need sales tactics to succeed. You just need to be honest. You need to be honest and have a good product, have a good reputation, and have the systems and processes to back that. That's what you want. And then you want the relationship to carry you the rest of the way forward. Oh, we're going to use them, but we heard really good things about you. And you're a bit more expensive, but we really liked it. Price matters, but yeah, we back you. That's really, really cool. So chill out. Good things take time. Building something excellent, building something of excellence takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. If you close a week, close a month, and set your trajectory on the 7-step pathway, it's what you need. I want to end on this. A lot of times, there's no real reason to work so hard. Some of us work so hard and we work so many hours, and you probably could just do all that in less time. And I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm saying work hard, yes. I'm saying work smart, yes. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't let it stress you out. If it is going to matter in 5 years, you sure as hell better make something happen. You better clear your schedule and make that happen. Your profit can't wait. Your purpose can't wait. Having no work in a team, you need to do something about that. You need to do something about the critical pathway. You need to hand over tasks you need to get out of. You need to stop opening the computer every single night time. You need to take back control of your business. You need to slow down. You need to cheer up. And you need to chill out and get on the trajectory that is running an excellent business with excellent people, for excellent people, doing excellent things, being an excellent partner, being an excellent dad, being excellent at whatever hobby you're choosing, being a great member of the community, being financially viable, and being pushing forward into your trade God ordained destiny of making money, building wealth, and being kind. That's what you want. There's no point gaining all the profit and all the revenue if you lose everything you care about along the way. But you got to slow down, cheer up, chill out. 3 lessons in 3 years. Peace. That's a wrap on another episode of the Sparky Coach podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. It would mean a lot to us if you could like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify and leave a comment if you think that pleases the electrical gods. And we hope this episode and all our episodes propel you in your trade God ordained destiny of making money, building wealth, and being kind. Thanks so much for all your support. See you guys soon.